Now another type, that is null vector. What is null vector? A vector having a zero magnitude. It is having a zero magnitude, but it is considered as a vector. It is considered as a vector even it has a zero magnitude, and it tells the direction, and that direction will be arbitrary. Arbitrary means that it can be any direction, like x-axis, y-axis, z-axis, any direction. So that is basically null vector tells the arbitrary direction. It is represented by that O sign, and it is a sign of vector. Arrow is sign of vector, so it is represented by O. For example, if you are adding a vector, that is a vector, if you are adding a vector a into the negative vector a, so the answer will be null vector. And if you, for example, if you are taking b vector, adding a b positive b vector with a negative b vector, so the answer will be null. If you are adding a vector, like two or more than two vectors according to a head to tail rule, according to a head to tail rule, if you are adding two or more than two vectors, so how you will add, like the head of last vector will join or attach with the tail of first vector. That is a head to tail rule. So if you are adding a vector, two or more than two vectors according to a head to tail rule, that is the head of last vector will join or attach with the tail of first vector, so the resultant will be null vector. For example, if we are having a vector, it is the first vector, that is a vector, that is the second vector b vector, and that is a third vector, that is c vector. So the last vector is a c vector. So as we said that the head of last vector will join or attach the tail of first vector, this is the last vector, the head, this is, if that is the arrow, that is a vector, this is called head and this is called tail. So basically the last vector is c vector, and the head of this vector is touching or joining the first tail of first vector. This is the tail, so it is joined, the head of last vector is joining or attaching with the tail of first vector. So in this the resultant will be a null vector. That is also known as a law of triangle. The law of triangle, that means that the head of last vector will join or attach the tail of the first vector, so the resultant will be a null vector. That was about the null vector, that null vector is having a zero magnitude, even if it has a zero magnitude, but it is considered as a vector. Talking about another vector, that is colinear vector. Colinear vector is basically a vector that comes in a same line, and the line, the straight line, means the magnitude and unit will be different. It can be different, but the direction will be same. A vector that comes in a same line means and having a same direction and comes in a straight line and having a different magnitude and unit, that is called as a collinear vector. For example, we are having three vectors, that is taking v1 vector, v2 vector and v3 vector. This is the first vector, v1 vector, having a magnitude and unit. Then this is the second vector having magnitude and unit. This is the third vector having a magnitude and unit. So basically it have different magnitude and different unit, but it is following the same direction, so that is called a collinear vector. And it comes in a straight line, means it comes in a same line, a straight line, and it have a same direction, and the magnitude and unit are different, so it is called as collinear vector.